And we are back on this lovely Wednesday edition of the Doing All Right podcast. Here I'm in the headquarters there. Brian's still remote from Surprise, Arizona, his retirement community that he's going to move back to. They don't have water out there in that part of Arizona, do it, Brian?
Yeah, they actually driving around. I think I actually drove over some body of water. But yeah, there's not much water. Well, some water on the golf courses and stuff like that. But
not a bunch of lakes out there, where.
Yeah. I mean, the area I'm in, there's not. I'm sure if you go towards, the mountains. I'm being really ignorant right now on my Arizona geography, but there's really good golf courses here, and I'll tell you what, talk about water. They put a ton of water on that baseball field that we hang out at every day. But it's fascinating. Voch, you'd love this place because how you like tools and yard work and things like that.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of tools working on this baseball yard, man. It is quite a sight how they mow patterns into the grass and they make it look really pretty and all that, man. It's a beautiful place. But I'm ready to go home. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ready to get back to the studio and be with everybody there.
It's fascinating you say that, Brian. Whenever I get a raise here and I do go buy my new house, I want my land to be a certain size and a certain, I don't want it to be sloped or anything like that, because I want to draw lines in my damn grass with my lawnmower equipment. So you ain't wrong, bro. The way they mow the yard here, they have an infield mower and a big mower for the outfield. But yeah, it's fun to watch them work on these fields, man. True professionals for sure. Man, Bryan Broaddus, we got a action-packed episode today.
Yeah, we do.
We're gonna tap into your golden phone a little bit.
Yes.
See what the business is.
Yes.
The bull Sando from The Athletic. What is it, Mike?
Yeah.
Mike
Sando. Mike Sando. Yeah.
From The Athletic. He did a little exercise that you thought was interesting. I haven't taken a look at it. I kind of got a general feel of what the vibe is, and we're going to talk through some of those top 10 picks. And man, Brian, we got 4 players here. I think we're going to have some fun things to say about all of them. And a couple of these guys are like fan favorites. You know what I'm saying? They've been bothering us for a long time about some of these guys. And I don't know how they're going to fit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they'll fit into my board or whatever. But we got a great show, man. So not that y'all would touch that dial or anything like that. This content is YouTube. But let's get right into it. Brian.
Yeah, here we go.
We didn't quite touch on it yesterday because, I wanted us to gather some facts. I wanted us to gather a little bit of information. I didn't want to he say, she say too much. I wanted you to, because, I could be like, hey, Brian, you want to talk about this right now? And you could be like, well, let me ask 5 important people and I'll get back to you. I say, well, shit.
I did that for you. I did.
Well, then we'll wait. Let them wait. Brian, did you reach out to anybody on your very important cellular device that's golden about this Caleb Downs? The ACL is degenerative, allegedly. They claim that it could be degenerative and somewhat of a meniscus problem, which is less serious than a ACL, I would say. Brian, what are the people in your phone saying about this Caleb Downs situation?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting where this first came out, and the belief is that maybe the Chicago Bears were the team that was involved in the information that did get out. I don't know if there's any advantage to that for them or anything like that, but maybe their doctors flag this. It happens at the combine occasionally where some doctors, they're in these pods. So they're in these little work groups. So like the Cowboys will work with the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Texans, they have these little groups. Used to be with the Giants, and these doctors all look at these kids together and they talk about this, the information they get. The trainers share medical grades with each other, just to kind of have a little bit of background, a little bit of a point of reference where they're at. In talking to some teams around the league yesterday, didn't get the feeling that this was actually a concern. And so, like I say, I do my best to talk to the teams and try and say, listen, is this something that we need to worry about? And what I got is, we were looking at a lot of MRIs for various players, and this one not off the top of my head. Guys were saying were something of a concern. So we've had concerns in the past. I know my own personal experience, with Larry Allen was one when we were in Green Bay. I've told you about my situation with Jeremiah Trotter when I was drafted in Philadelphia. Team doctors come in and they say, "Hey, listen, we caught this and caught that." We had a player from SMU that got a medical report about a spine problem that he didn't know about. So the combine is good for that. I mean, it will. There's a lot of really good things that come from the combine, but we always talk about the medical being the most important. But just talking to people around the league, and then also listening to Ryan Clark, he reached out to people. He's got that platform on NFL Live, and he said doctors are telling him, trainers are telling him there's not much to this. So this might be one of those reports that maybe one team thought it. We'll see if everybody else does, but right now it doesn't appear that's the case.
Brian, what happens when some miscellaneous information get out and it wasn't from your team, right? Like, if you work for the Cowboys didn't say it, but the Dolphins said that they found out something medically. Does that affect how you guys view the player at all? Does that just kind of make you double back with your doctor? Does that make you go? Does that make you go? Well, maybe his draft stock is gonna do whatever to kind of make the player fall to us a little bit. What happens when some other team puts out information? Do you care, or like what happens in that situation, Brian?
Well, the team might be in your pod. That's what you have to worry about too. Is like, okay, we were all talking about this, and were we not reading? We all read the MRIs together. We all, one of the doctors, every doctor will, if as Downs was sitting on that table, the examining table, every doctor in the pod got the opportunity to pull on the knee, check the knee, look at an MRI. There's a lot of things that, these doctors can do, or they could request an MRI. If there's a problem, if they feel like they saw something in an old MRI, they could go and say, listen, we request that this particular player take another MRI. So this is a very thorough deal. And so if a team identifies something, then maybe you circle back and you say, well, they look at it as level 3, where that high level, high risk, we see it as a level 1 or a level 2. So every medical staff is different with the way that they evaluate these particular injuries. So it's something where, when you reach out, like I reached out to a couple of teams and they were actually surprised, they'd heard the information, but they were surprised and, about the situation too. So, we'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, I think this is something that just got out. Maybe a particular team has a problem with it and everybody else is kind of like, no, this is not something you need to work. Listen, the kid didn't miss any games, right? It wasn't like a situation where he was not available. I mean, he played through all this if there in fact is a problem.
Brian, we often talk about some of the things that are required to happen for the Cowboys to reach their peak efficiency in the draft. Please. Can
I say one more? I'm sorry, Botch. I sit in front of you. You can read my body language a little better. Can I say one more thing?
Hell yeah.
I just want to throw another golden phone thing in there if I could. Actually, I got a couple of golden phone things if I could.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to try and get this, help our listeners out here. I did talk to a couple of teams about the Lemon interview.
Yes, sir.
Kai Lemon is the wide receiver from USC. And I asked a couple of teams, I'm like, did you guys have a chance to talk to this guy? Because everybody's saying, it's kind of come off as like, is this a weird guy? What's his situation? What's happening here? I had a couple of different teams tell me that we interviewed this guy and they said, listen, this guy, I go, are we making a big deal about this in the media? And a team said, you're absolutely making a big deal about it. I go, we've interviewed worse players before. I mean, worse as far as quirky, what are you saying kind of thing? He goes, this one was, listen, you sit down with this kid, they go, everybody acknowledge this is one of the better players in the draft. He is very quirky though, they say. No issues, but just you got to know what you're getting into. with this wide receiver. I mean, he's not a bad guy or, a guy that's going to cause problems for you and stuff like that. He's just quirky in the way he reacts. And I said, bad interview? And they're like, no, not a bad interview at all. You just got to know what you're getting into, because the player is really, really good. But like I said, a couple of guys just said, we've interviewed players that have been far more quirky than this guy that you guys would know about. And, you're not hearing about it now. So the Lemon thing seems like, if you're worried about him dropping because of bad interviews and all that, I talked to a couple of teams, like I said, that they didn't feel that at all about the player. Another thing I heard that just throwing out some free agent names, and I just want to throw a few out that people, now I need to study them. I'm on this college train with you right now. I need to study some of these pro guys before free agency starts. I just want to throw a couple names that I heard. Jalen Thompson is a guy that they're interested in. Nakobe Dean, we mentioned him. And then this PJ Locke is a possibility as well. So those were just three names that yesterday I was talking to some people and they said, hey, Dallas is maybe going to be on some of these guys. But those were some names. I know people always ask, hey, Broaddus, Voch, what names are you hearing? Yeah. Thompson, Dean, and Locke are the three names that I've heard right now as far as guys that they could be pursuing here once this free agency period starts.
So, Bryan, you're getting the feel that the Cowboys are going to spend the most money on the front seven than the secondary. Like you don't see them putting a bunch of resources into the corners and safeties money wise. But if they were to spend bigger money, it'll be the pass rushers and the linebackers.
I think so. I think they're in that mode right now. I think they're, just kind of reading the room a little bit. They really do think that Ravel's going to be fine. There's some unknown with Bland with the foot, but they would like to do some things if they could. Hopefully they can address the safety position, which we've all talked about. I know I'm getting this vibe, Voch, and I know we're a couple months away. If you want one of these potentially premier safeties, I think the spot you can't go past is Minnesota. It just seems like Minnesota is on every safety in this draft. Yeah. And, the Thienemans, the guys are a guy from Toledo. That's every one of these guys, McNeil Warren, every one of them are just, if you're thinking you're going to trade behind Minnesota and grab a safety, it just doesn't sound like that's going to be possible. Yeah. So if you're doing your mock drafts and you're thinking, well, what are the Cowboys? Can the Cowboys drop from 12 to 16, with the Jets? Do the Jets want to come up and do something, or does somebody want to come up and do something here? There's some possibilities there. There's some possibilities for them to come up to you, but you have to kind of think some things out here before you if you're going to look for one of these safeties, because if you trade past Minnesota, you might not get the safety you want.
Bryan, first of all, I appreciate all your phone information, Bryan. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe nobody until you come out and tell me. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, sir. You put us up onto this article from The Athletic.
I did.
That our man Mike Sando put out. And
I did.
I'll let you basically set it up, but he talked to 4 of his sources in the league or whatnot, right? One's a GM, 2 are assistant GMs, and 1 vice president of player personnel. And what he kind of did was kind of got their feel for how they think the top 10 will play out, and he kind of averaged those together to make one consensus kind of top 10 amongst those 4. Let me just set this up, Bryan, and I can also ask you this. With the recent news, and you reached out to some Cowboy personnel people, you asked them about Jamal McCoy, right?
Yeah, I did.
And you basically you didn't get a great answer back.
I got a no comment, basically, is what I got. They do not want to talk about McCoy.
Which says a whole bunch, and you pair that with what Nick Harris was saying. I think all Cowboy fans want a top tier player on defense to be there at 12th overall. Okay.
Right.
So now you're basically erasing Jamal McCoy from that. Because in my mind, Jamal McCoy was going to be a guy that was in that mix if the Cowboys felt good about him. He didn't work out at the combine. He's probably going to work out at the pro day. But we're not getting positive feels from the Cowboys, right? So that's one less defender, Brian. Basically, how our setup kind of changes is that if you want a top tier defender, whether it be Delane, either one of the linebackers, either one of the pass rushers or the safety. You would now need the quarterback to go early, the running back. You need 2 offensive tackles and at least 2 other players. So that could be 2 receivers. That could be a defender you don't want, like the defensive tackle, or maybe like Keldrick Faulk, right? Like maybe Keldrick Faulk goes like top 11 or something like that. And if any of that happens, then you will be able to pick a top tier defender. Somebody should be there if all that happens. Brian, you want to talk me through this? We're going to run down Sando's mock. And,
I do.
Go, please.
I do. Yeah, this mock draft has a little bit of a history with the executives that he does. And Mike is a very connected guy. I have a lot of respect for Mike. I got after him about Woody and the Hall of Fame thing, but I respect the guy a lot. I really do. But what's interesting is, as you mentioned, the player personnel guys, they did something I have not seen in any other mock drafts. And just to give a little context, last year, these guys hit on 5 of 9 picks by the teams. And there was a couple of them that they had the right player in the spot, but a different team picked the player. So, but that was, good for them. So Mike went back to this group. When I read the names to you, you're going to say, okay, as you evaluate it, you're going to hear an omission of a couple of names. And I want your thoughts on this because I'm going to ask you a couple of questions off that.
Cool.
Of course, everybody's had Mendoza going to the Raiders. Arvell Reese goes to the Jets in this mock. David Bailey from Texas Tech goes to the Arizona Cardinals at 3. Carnell Tate goes to the Tennessee Titans at 4.
Brian, let me pause you right there. Is that kind of a surprise to you that the first receiver coming off the board is top 10 and kind of Tate and his hype and how it's been looking the past couple of days or whatever? Does that kind of shock you that Tate goes 4th?
You know what? I think it's one of those things where once again, you and I watched the tape. I know that I have Tate as my 3rd best receiver.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a fan of Tyson. I'm a fan of Lemon, and then I'm a fan of Tate. So to me, there's something I'm learning, Voch, is talking to personnel guys and gals around the league. There's no consensus on these wide receivers. There's none. Everybody's board is going to be different when it comes to these wide receivers and who they have as 1, who they have as 2, and who they have as 3. Every board will be different. I don't think there is going to be a consensus board. So that really doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I think his tape's really good. I think there's times you see him play vertically just fine. You see him go get the ball. I think listen, they're going to go to Ohio State. If he wants to run again, they'll get him faster. Yeah. Promise you, he'll have a faster time than what he ran at the combine. I appreciate him putting his hand on the line like we've always talked about, but they'll get him faster. And I know there's Adam Schefter's been saying, well, some scouts had him at 4.47 and, some had him at this and somebody had him at that. And so, that's cool, man. I mean, that's cool. That's great. I mean, I always kind of joke that if you really like a player and he's not running fast, get him at 38 yards.
Yeah.
Just hit your clock a little early, we'll be okay.
Fair enough.
Nobody has to know. But
5th overall.
Yeah, exactly. So Francis Malinois goes to the Giants at 5.
Sando says for 5th overall that 3 out of 4 of his execs had this, so that's like high probability. They're all saying the same thing.
Yeah. They we watch the Giants every year. We know the Giants. And listen, has anybody tried to use more resources on offensive line than the Giants? My God, free agency and the draft, high picks, 1st round picks, 2nd round picks. They've tried. This one might be the home run they actually need. We all know that. Spencer Fano goes to the Browns at 6. I mean, the Browns made a trade for an offensive lineman yesterday, but they still are. Yeah, they're still in a little bit of some problems with that line. So Fano goes to the Browns at 6. Yeah. Ruben Bain goes to the Commanders at 7, and it's interesting pick right there. With Dan Quinn and Ruben Bain. Dan does a great job with his edge rushers and stuff like that. So if Ruben Bain were to show up there, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a very, very successful career. To be honest with you, I'm praying that Ruben Bain somehow makes it to me at 12. I'd love to have Ruben Bain on this team. I would. I'd absolutely love it. Mekhi Lemon goes to the Saints at 8. Now, this is something that's a little different because we've seen the Saints kind of always looking at the running back spot here.
Sure.
But they need offensive weapons. And so Mekhi Lemon, they're okay with the interview. They like the quirkiness of the young man. So they take him at 8. Kansas City takes Jeremiah Love at 9. Kansas City hunting a back. The thought here is that they need some way to run the football until they get Mahomes back completely healthy. Yeah. And so Jeremiah Love, which I have yet to see Jeremiah Love come out of the top 10. I haven't seen a mock draft where he's been out of the top 10 yet. All right, this is where it's interesting now. Peter Woods is picked at number 10. Yeah. Is where he's picked. So now that's the Cincinnati Bengals. So that puts Miami on the clock ahead of you at 11. Everybody seems to think that Miami will take a cornerback here. The thought is it's been, Delane. We've seen it. We've seen it with McCoy. They've always seemed to have taken a corner. Okay, with that logic, if it holds true and Dolphins take a cornerback, that's going to leave Downs, and it also leaves Sonny Styles on the board for you to be able to take. Yeah. And I think it's interesting just for the fact that these general managers directors of player personnel and others did not pick either Downs or Styles in the top 10. Yeah. And I wonder, is this one of those things of the off-ball linebacker thing and safety that you just don't take those positions? Yeah. Or do these personnel folks know something that we don't know? Maybe, we talked about earlier with the Downs thing and all that stuff. Are they thinking that maybe something's up there? Nobody's really saying anything about it. Again, I'm talking to teams and saying that, don't worry about it. But I found it fascinating that these personnel folks left you Styles and Downs potentially on your board.
Brian, I've been having conversation with people online about this. I've put my board out. And people see that I have Sonny Styles with a 2 on him. He's in my second round grades for the linebacker.
Right.
I understand Sonny Styles has had this phenomenal combine. We all knew he was very athletic.
Yep.
I'm film guy, Brian. And when I watched Sonny Styles on film, I didn't see like a Luke Kuechly guy. I didn't see a Bobby Wagner guy. I didn't see a San Fran Fred Warner guy. You know what I'm saying? I saw a dude that was very athletic. Very athletic. He moves really well for his size. I mean, there's a bunch of upside, of course, but I think he has a lot of linebacker things to learn or whatever, right?
I agree.
Some people are appalled that I have a second round grade on him, and even putting together my top 50 stack, Brian, he's like my 13th guy on my stack or whatever, which is cool. Like, he's right after my first round grades. That's just where I have him at. And some people are appalled that I have him there. I can see the league going, hey, man, your workout was great, size and all that, and you do play linebacker. That may factor into it. Off-ball linebacker, that may factor into it. Styles has good tape. I don't expect people to be blown away like a top 10 player, though, Brian. I don't think Styles' tape is better than Delane's. I don't think Styles' tape was better than Downs. I don't think Styles' tape was better than Bailey or Bain or Reese. I could see a world where Sonny Styles is on the board for you at 12. Despite the workout was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the dudes in front of him, the running back. Yeah. Styles ain't got film better than the running back. He ain't got film better than Mawanoa. He does have a good top 15 type film to me, though, right?
No question. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I can see a team, like some people just can't fathom the idea. I can see a team looking at Styles and going, hey, man, he good. I just don't have him better than Delane or Tate or these guys. I can see it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm in the same boat you are. I think Sonny Styles was really, really early in my evaluation this year. When we started looking in November 1st, I think Sonny Styles was a November guy. And I kind of sat there and I was wondering, man, this Sonny Styles I wonder if media scouts don't have him high enough and are NFL scouts going to turn around and put him where he needs to be. Doesn't sound like that's the case. It sounds like that they're more in line with what you're talking about. That, yeah, he is going to get drafted in the first round, but maybe he's not this guy that I thought maybe he was the 6th or 7th or 8th best player on the board. Mm-hmm. You know, he's the 13th, he's the 14th, he's the 16th best player, you know? And if you factor in everything about the player, now I'll fight you on downs. Yeah. I'll fight you on downs. But the Styles one, listen, I'm not, I agree with you. And I know people out there hate when I agree with you, but I think you got a really good argument here. You could watch some tape of him and there's a lot of things for him still to learn. That workout was impressive. You're not going to probably see another one like that of a man doing that, you know, but if you watch the tape early in the season, there's some struggles he has getting off blocks. You know, there's things, you know, you don't want to really put him in a lot of pass coverage stuff. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things you don't want to do with this guy. Did he get better as the year wore on? Yeah, he did. But you know what? If he's there at 12, I think he's an absolute consideration for you. But if it's him and Downs, I'm taking Downs all day on that one. That's just my evaluation of that particular player.
I would love to have him on the team, just to be clear. You know, if the Cowboys are tasked between one of these two guys, I'm fine with them picking either one. Cowboys pick Downs over Styles or vice versa. I'm fine regardless. But
if you had to just crystal ball this thing,
sure.
Who do you think they have higher on their stack? Just crystal ball it. You're not, you know.
I would say that the Cowboys would probably have Styles higher because of like the measurables.
The position, the measurables.
Position too, now that I think about it. And they probably have this mindset of, like they always talk about building in the middle or whatnot, right? I think there's a mindset for that. I can make the argument that Downs' position is probably more important for this scheme. But I think if they ask scouts, hey, how many dudes can come play nickel safety for me? I think there would be more guys that can do that than they'll have dudes that can play Mike linebacker to Sonny Styles' level, or that's athletic and long and lengthy. Cowboys love the height, weight, speed guys. They love that.
Yeah.
And both are gonna do well in the interview process or whatever. But if I had to guess, I would say the Cowboys probably higher on the linebacker than the safety.
You know, it's funny that somebody asked me a question, and maybe you've seen this one on Twitter too. And I know we got to get to our players, but I always like to get your opinion on these things. Mm-hmm. If you had a chance to draft, like for the nickel player, Terrell from Clemson or Thieneman from Oregon.
I don't think Terrell fits that description. I think Terrell.
I'm talking about as just a nickel player, not a play slot. Just play slot. Okay. I'm not asking him to be the free safety and the linebacker and all.
Okay, I got you.
Would you rather have the pure nickel or the versatile nickel in this scheme?
In this scheme, I would rather have the versatile.
I should just say overall. I should just say overall is what I should say.
I would rather have the versatile guy. The guy that can do multiple things. I think there is a place for putting out three corners and just go locking guys up, like matchup wise. You know, you may just have a week where you need three corners to match up with three receivers as opposed to like an extra tight end or something like that. But in general, Brian,
I got a first round grade on that Terrell.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I got a first round grade. I got a second round grade on Thieneman. Okay. And I wonder, and I mean, I think the thing, you're going to say, oh, well, Terrell's 185 pounds, Brian. This guy tackles, comes forward, creates turnovers. He runs well enough. He's gonna play in phase. He's not gonna get outworked. Yeah. I love Thieneman. I love him. But man, there might be something just to having a damn badass nickel player.
Yeah.
That's not a safety linebacker, hybrid guy. Maybe just having a damn good nickel would make a lot of sense for this football team. Jerry Jones said it on the bus. He said they effed up the Jordan Lewis thing.
Yeah.
That's what they effed up,
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a side of me that I love both players. I love Terrell more. And I wonder if just having a badass nickel would be better than having a badass hybrid player.
That's interesting, Brian. That's interesting.
Because I know this real quick, Voch. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at doing this.
No, please.
I'm a long way away from you. I'm sorry about this. I wondered this because if something were to happen to Bland or one of these other guys, I can walk Terrell out there and let him go play outside, can I?
Yeah, of course you can.
I go walk him out there and go play. I don't know if I have that. I don't know. I know I don't have that flexibility with Thieneman. I know that.
I think it would depend on where you play him. I know you have Terrell slightly higher than me. I got a 2 on.
You have him. Yeah. So you're in that 1, 2, 3 range. 1, 2, 4. Where are you?
Terrell is like a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
By the way, I heard they love Hood.
Yeah.
From Tennessee. I heard they love Hood.
I love him at 22, Brian. Yeah. I love Colton Hood at 20. As long as they do the right thing. Damn right. Yeah. Don't mess around.
See, I have Hood. Where you have Terrell.
Yeah.
I have Hood. That's kind of how my board shakes.
Okay. And that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? But
thanks for patting me on the head and say, go away, little boy.
Hey, take them all at 20, all right? Take them at 20. Y'all got me? Don't ruin my draft day, okay?
Yeah, don't ruin my draft day.
I'm going to be dressed really well for y'all to be taking Colton Hood and Avion Terrell at 12 and hurt my damn feelings. Yeah. Brian, let's get into it, man.
Yeah, got you, man.
I think we have some creative discussions to get off today.
Yeah.
Just looking at my board here. You didn't ask me for this, by the way. I got Thieneman as my 19th guy. I got Terrell as my 27th guy. So they're not too They're not too far apart.
That's pretty far.
What's that?
27 and 19. Yeah.
Well, 27 and 19 ain't crazy, Brian. What you mean?
Yeah. Imagine picking player 19 or picking player 27. How would you feel about that?
I would want my 19th guy. That's it. That's all. I want my 19th guy.
You wouldn't want my 27th guy. Well, good for you.
And my 19th guy there, give me
man. Hey,
give me Wheatley.
You do. Give me Wheatley. You're right about that. You know what? Yeah, you're right about that. But yeah, hey, man, you do the work.
Boy, that is a bold way to disagree with me, Brian. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. We have some interesting guys today, Brian.
I can't wait. I know you're going to disagree with me here coming up. There's something going to happen here. I know there's something going to happen.
It's about to go down today. I can feel
it is about to go down today. I have a feeling, yeah.
I want to save my feature presentation for the end, Brian.
Okay.
Let's knock the easy one out first.
Okay.
Zach Branch, wide receiver, Georgia. Zachariah.
All right, can I say something real quick? Can I say something about Zachariah Branch?
Yes, sir.
There's teams that have him in the bottom of the second, early third.
Wow. That's a little rich for me, Brian. That's a little rich for me.
Tell me about him then.
Brian, I watched a lot of Zach Branch, dog. But I watched him in a satirical way. Because I was like, I know damn well.
Yeah.
I kept going down his catches, Brian. I kept going. And I was like, I know this ain't it. I went to go watch some more.
Yeah.
Brian, You know how we be up in here and we like generalize dudes that don't run routes. Put Brian back up there, please. Put us on two, please. Put us on two. Put us on two.
I'm
please.
here. You and I here. We're good.
You know
good.
how we can put players in the archetypes and be like, well, he only run 3 routes.
Yeah.
We're really being hyperbolic. They run more than 3 routes, Brian. We just, we should be bullshit. They run more than 3 routes. Brian.
This guy run 3 routes.
If Zach Branch ain't catching a screen, running a slant / crosser,
sure.
And maybe one time versus Florida, I saw him run up the seam.
Yeah.
One time, and that was his biggest game. And when he wasn't running up the seam in Florida, he was running slants and screens, Brian.
You got it, man.
Zach Branch run 3 routes, Brian. He ran 3 routes. Brian, he little bitty. He 5'10", like what, 180 or something?
He's 5'9", 177, man. You got him right. Go ahead.
That's his combine numbers. I bet.
Go
Brian,
ahead. I try to give you the combine number.
You can see the explosion.
Yeah.
You can see the quickness, the shiftiness. I love yak guys, Brian. I love the ability for these dudes to create their own space. And Zach Branch is absolutely a yak guy, Bryan Broaddus, you know. Maybe it takes him getting to the league and some coach getting more creative with him. But I be having questions about these dudes that go to these big schools, Brian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you got phenomenal coaches at Georgia, dog. They ain't teach you. You know what I'm saying? Zach Branch might be a cat that only can learn 3 routes. I saw him on the goal line one time do a little whip route or whatever, but that was them coming out the huddle. And you could just say, hey, Zach, run the whip route or whatever, right? But for the most part, he's running. And not even great routes, by the way. But he's running his slant or his bubbles, or that one time I saw him run up the seam, Brian. But it's mostly slants and bubbles. They really want to get him the ball quickly in space and, like, let him go. I fear that if he gets to the league, he's going to run into the Turpin issue. That whenever you on the field, I know what you about to do. You either about to jet sweep or you about to do X, blah, 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 blah. Brian, I couldn't in good faith. And look, if you look at Brugler's page or like some of the PFF stuff, they got him up in the top receivers in the draft, Brian.
No question. They sure do.
They got him in that day 2 range somewhere.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I couldn't in good conscience, Brian. I couldn't put him up there. With him, like if I had to put him up there, his yak ability has to be godlike. I don't think he has that. I think some of the other guys that we've been watching, Daniels from Miami, Williams from Clemson, Cooper from Indiana, Bernard from Bama, I think they're better yak guys and they got better size to them. Not as explosive as Branch. Branch is super explosive, but those guys that I just mentioned, they run. They're yak guys, but they also run routes better. They run many more routes better, and they have much more size than Zach Branch. I got a 5 on him, Brian. I got a 5 on him. He only doing one job for me. If he's on my team, I'm going to try to make him a return guy. I don't watch return film, so I don't know if he has return film out there. Maybe he does. But you can use an explosive player. But I feel like if he was on my team, I think he would be used like Turpin is used. He's a guy that's on the team. He's going to return the football. He may have like 4 targets a game or something where he gets to go be fast. Yeah. I don't see him as a receiver that's on my team to where like Skylar Bell, who I have a 4 on, I got a 4 on him, but I can see Skylar Bell getting 8 targets, 9 targets in my offense and me building an offense around him. I can't see myself building an offense around Zach Branch, so I got him in the 5s, Brian.
I put him in the bottom of the 4 is where I thought you and I were going to fight on this. I thought you were going to throw him up there in the 2nd round or something like that. That's why I threw that. I was like, man, he's about to tell me he's a 2nd round player. This guy's a body catcher, man. Yep. This guy is a small body catcher is what he is. And he will do everything in his power to adjust and contort. I think the comparison to Turpin, I think, is spot on. I really, really do. I mean, you could watch this guy and watch him play, and it's the screens, it's the slants. I mean, he's got some toughness, he's got some explosiveness, he's got some quicks. He's also 5'9", and he is a body catcher. Yeah. That's. I mean, I do not see a guy that is extending his hands and catching the ball. I worry about this guy that way. I really do. And so I put him in the bottom of the 4th, and you're probably right. And I don't think I'll move him from there because somebody, again, you like to say this, people are bad at drafting.
Yeah.
But I could see somebody way overpaying for this guy. Way overpaying. I think there's much better route runners. I think there's much better catchers of the football that we've looked at ahead of him. So I don't disagree with your assessment at all. But if he was one of these guys that snatched the ball and you know, it was just kind of magical that way, then I would say you're dead wrong about this guy. But I don't think you are.
Let's get another one out the way that I think is going to be relatively easy there, Brian. And not that he's a bad player or anything like that, but I just think that he's pretty cut and dry. But I do like him though. You know, I've separated my draft board, Brian. You know, when once I had edges, right? I'll have like edge linebackers and edge like bigger DN type dudes. And what I noticed on my board when I have it like that, and you guys can go see my board, it's pinned to the top of my Twitter, is that I had less edge linebacker guys than bigger edges. I only got 8 stand-up linebacker edge guys, right? Yeah. So it was good to see Keyron Crawford as a guy that I think will probably be a standing linebacker edge dude. But I'm watching him, Brian, and hey, man, I came away pleasantly surprised with what I saw from Keyron Crawford. I like them as a pass rusher much more than his running mate, Keldrick Faulk there, Brian. So that's one thing. Crawford is interesting because I don't think he's quite the bendy guy, but he is bursty. He is explosive. I see him firing off the football, and I see him being more of he's interesting because he's a standing linebacker power rusher type, right?
Yeah.
I see him get those hands in there. I see him striking and extending. Not the cleanest pass rush technician, but you see him work different moves. You see him work different setups, different arm swipes, different, rips and things like that. I've seen him bull and get off a bull and go make another play. I think his highs are really highs. I think he has lows, and his lows are running down the middle of people. That's kind of what he does. But then he'll have another high where I'm taking the edge perfectly, cross chop, get around and make a play on the quarterback, or I'll push you directly into the quarterback. Then he has a couple more plays of him running down the middle of guys. It's interesting because as a bigger power rusher type dude, I didn't think that he was very aware in the run. I think he did a lot of stuff weird.
That's an issue.
Yeah. Like, for him to play as big, I would imagine that he'll be better versus run, but he's not. I think he has good effort in the run, but when they pull at him, he runs up
awareness. The awareness is
he doesn't really take it head on. If you down block him, he stays down block. He doesn't cross face. If you're reaching him, he'll work up and let you reach him instead of working to the outside, right? So the run game awareness stuff, I wasn't that high on. He's not super refined, but he does have a good effort as a run defender. You just got to work on his techniques or whatever. I thought he was a much better pass rusher than he was run defender. Brian, I did like his tape though. I like his highs a lot more than his lows. I don't want to say I'm being a coward, right? I think a team, if you had like a late third, I could see a team taking them late third. I could see it.
There you go.
And that's kind of where I have him in my third rounds. Just my edge linebackers, right? Not my bigger guys, but my edge linebackers. I got Moore from Michigan. I got Joseph's Tennessee. Yeah. And at the bottom in the third round, I got Crawford from Auburn. So that's why I got him, Brian.
Yeah, I put him in the top of the fourth, and I had him ahead of some guys like let me look at like Kamara, Yakis, Dennis Sutton, Sapp. I had him. Those are all fourth round guys. That Sapp I might drop a little further than when it's all said and done. But I had him in the top of the fourth. I too liked his tape. I honestly think this guy's best football is ahead of him. He is a guy that to me, 6'4", 253. I'll disagree with you on something. I do think he's a little bendy. Okay. I think he's got some of the lower half kind of. You watch him play, and he's kind of he kind of gets around. I was watching him, in the All-Star games, and then I was watching him, against Georgia, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and I think that this guy he's got it all ahead of him. He just didn't start playing football till he was a senior in high school. So he's still developing. He doesn't have the instincts you mentioned in the running game, the technique really not, but as a stand-up guy and occasionally put his hand down, I saw a twitchy takeoff. I saw a guy that can kind of change direction. I saw a guy that kind of allowed himself to, with some pop in his hands. You're right about getting caught up on some blocks and stuff like that. But man, he's got the ability. They showed him rushing. They showed him dropping in these games. The Vanderbilt game, that was a little bit of a game where you mentioned the problems with defending the run, where they took a blocker right at him, and he just didn't handle it all that well. But man, he's got the physical makeup that you would love. He's got the size, and this is where all of a sudden in my brain, and I asked the question of Will McClay at the combine. I said, "What's the one thing that gets scouts in trouble drafting?" He said, "Traits." And this guy's got a lot of traits. And I put him in the top of the fourth. He doesn't look out of place when he's like dropping. Like you could see him kind of like, it's not like drop and kind of get lost. I mean, he's going to an area and then he's reacting from that. So I just feel like that maybe he gets with the right program. They'll use him as a rusher. They'll use him as an outside linebacker. He's got the size. It looks like he's got the temperament to go make plays and kind of, attack the pocket the way he did. So I think you're right. He's probably going to go before I have him going in the fourth round. This might be a third round guy.
That's interesting, Brian. All right. We got two more guys. Boy, this feature presentation is going to shape up well, because I can tell how you feel about this other guy based on how you feel about Crawford. So we'll see. Tell us about the running back, Brian. Tell us about let me get over to my running backs here. Mike Washington. Mike Washington from Arkansas. Big as hell and ran faster than everybody else, Brian. What don't you tell us about him?
Yeah. I'll tell you this about Mike Washington, though.
Beat the shit out of Tennessee for no reason, Brian.
He did, man. And some of his best games, you watch Tennessee, A&M, Texas, you watch these people play against some pretty good defenses. This guy was pretty damn impressive. The metrics will tell you. This guy had 16 plays of 20-plus yards in 2025. And he catches the ball really well, too. So, I think he's a soft-handed player. The checkdowns, the swings, get upfield. I like this guy. Now, there's some things you got to know about this kid. He started his career at Buffalo, University of Buffalo. Then he went to New Mexico State, then to Arkansas. But he really is a straight line speed guy when you watch him play. I mean, he could churn out yards after contact. The defensive backs try and meet him. He's just banging through those guys. I see kind of a one-cut runner with the ball in his hands. He'll run through those arm tackles, shoulder tackles. You really do have to wrap him up to get him down. The biggest thing that this guy has, the biggest problem this guy has is ball security. Yeah. And this guy will fumble the ball. And he's got 10 career fumbles across his last 3 seasons. And, you wonder, okay, with a lot of contact and stuff like that, is it something you could kind of work with? But it's something you absolutely need to know about. He's not a very great pass protector. I would say like below the standard that you would want as a pass protector. It's kind of a little bit of a problem there for the 3-down role that you would like. But this is an interesting guy just for the fact of his size, the straight line speed, and the way he catches the football. I just don't know if he's, how he's going to be, if he's going to be that every down guy come off the field. He'll need to develop that. But as I mentioned, man, he had some huge games against some really good defenses. And so you get a guy that kind of plays with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. But I probably did not give him his due where he's at. I have him in the 4th round. I do like Singleton. I like Moss, and I like Allen better than him right now. So I have him in the bottom of that 4th round. Might even be. I have him ahead of Ott and Claiborne and McGowan and those guys. Those are kind of my 5th round guys. I think he's better than those guys, but I wasn't really sold on him being better than Allen, Moss. I like the Moss kid from Texas A&M. I know there's some questions there, but man, an explosive player. But I have him in the bottom of the fourth round on my board.
See, Bryan doesn't like his running backs to run fast. That's what I noticed. Bryan likes his bigger guys. You know, he's a crusty old man, so bell cow means something to him. You know what I'm saying? He want his running back to take 50 carries a game or something like that. And look, that's fine, Bryan. That's fine. Mike Washington is a third round running back, Bryan. And you got
in relation to my third round running backs are Johnson, Price, and Coleman.
See, Johnson is really a second round back, but he run fast and you don't like him. See, I love a running back that can create his own space and run away from everybody. You want your running back to run over two people and get caught from behind on the 30 and get the ball back to the damn Bears. That what you like, Bryan. And we just a little different that way. If you have like long speed, you gonna fly up my boards. So Johnson, Price to an extent.
But do you feel like Washington has long speed?
I think Washington can fly. And he big.
I thought he was really straight line, man. I did not see a lot of elusiveness with this guy.
Run his ass faster than everybody else in a straight line.
Oh man,
he get his ass out there in a straight line. I thought he had decent vision. I didn't think he was. I don't want to say nothing you said. I thought he caught the ball well. Didn't run a whole bunch of routes. Yeah. Didn't run a whole bunch of routes. But I saw some swings, some flats, and he had a wheel route versus somebody that he caught downfield a little bit. I thought that was decent. One thing I don't like though, to be as big as he is, and he like 220 or something.
Yeah.
I don't like big blockers like chopping and missing and whiffing blocks. You know what I'm saying?
6'1", 223, by the way.
If you 6'1", 223, I want you to stay square and thump somebody in the hole. Javonte is really good at that. Mike Washington will go up there and chop and half shoulder somebody. Hey, you too big for that player. Cut that out. You know what I'm saying? But I take him in the third though, Bryan, just as a pass catcher. So Coleman,
the one I had with the problem I had with Coleman. And this is why he doesn't run as well as these guys do. He doesn't.
Coleman,
but you know what he does?
Catch the ball well.
Coleman catches the ball. He pass blocks, and when they do hand him the ball, he can get yards. Yeah. He's not going to make a lot of people miss, but he's one of the most complete backs in this draft. Yeah. You watch him step up, and you're right. The crusty old. I don't want my guy coming off the field. I want my guy, I want what we saw with Williams last year.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want a guy that you hand him the ball, he's getting 4.5, 5 yards, and now he's catching the ball when they throw it to him. And then when Dak Prescott needs to step up in the pocket to make a throw to George Pickens, that son of a gun stood in there and made it. And I don't know if any of these other guys do that, man. We can talk about long speed and run and do all this. Hell, I should have Coleman in the damn first round the way I'm talking about him right now. But
it's all right, man. You just run school.
I'm just wrong. Don't you said?
No, it's all good. They just gonna give Mike Washington the football 12 times a game. And he gonna have 112 yards because he ran faster than everybody. That's all, Bryan. You know what I'm saying? To where your guys are gonna wear guys down over time, which is fine. Also, too, Bryan, something I will say that is fair. I do think Claiborne needs a running mate. I think Coleman needs a running mate. I think Johnson could be fine. But he'll likely
the problem with Johnson, he might already have too many carries.
He got a lot of carries on him. He'll likely need a running mate. To be fair to you, Price and Washington can do it by themselves. I think Moss can do it by himself too.
I think that the thing with Price, I think he's going to be the second running back taken off the board.
Probably so.
I think I have Johnson. I love Johnson. I really do. I love the player. And a lot of carries. You're right. Maybe my old way of carrying the football is like the toughness, hand it to him, wear you down kind of guy.
Yeah.
But just Coleman, watching Coleman play, I see, like I said, I just see a guy that never comes off the field, and some of these other guys, are going to have somebody to help them along, because we're not going to be able to use them in third down, because unless you're going to throw them the ball. But I don't know. Like I say, I know I'm going to take a beating on this Washington one, but I'm okay with that. I've died on hills before, far worse than this one.
Brian,
third round, like what was your third round grade? Like a 1.32?
My third round grade for Washington?
Yeah.
Like a 1.37, 1.36.
Okay, so you had him close to the fourth. Okay.
A little later.
Cool.
A little later. Brian, let's kick off the feature presentation.
Get ready. As you start adding some more players, that Wash should be down there in the 1.45s before it's all said and done with your board.
Probably. No.
It'll be like he'll be like 1.58 on my board too. Watch.
That's all good. I text you last night.
Yeah.
I say, Brian, and all this shit happens in order. I'm watching Jaishawn Barham. I'm watching him.
Yeah.
And he's playing on the edge the entire time. I say,
yeah.
I stumbled across Oklahoma film where he's mostly playing off the ball. I say, wait a minute. I say, no, you wait a minute. He's playing mostly off ball. I say, well, Brian, you need to make sure that you watch Oklahoma tape of Jaishawn Barham, because I think that the context will be important for the conversation.
I have.
I text you another time because I kept watching. I say, hold on, Brian. You need to look at some of the the last year stuff too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was a full-time linebacker then.
Yeah.
That requires even more context for this player. I love when a player requires further context. I might make a shirt out of that. What it is, RQC, something like that. Zach Branch doesn't require a whole bunch of context. I know who he is, right? I love when I see something in a player and I discover more as I go. I'm a big nerd, Brian. I play JRPGs and shit, you know what I'm saying? I love to discover things. I love to find new, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Barum for a second. My report of him, outside linebacker, and I'm going in order. Outside linebacker, Brian, I can see he has a good first step, can explode, bendy. He's different than, because earlier I watched Crawford from Auburn. Auburn's more of a power rusher, right?
Sure.
I'm watching Barum. Barum is more of a speed guy. I'm using my bendiness, my ball get off. I'm getting around the edge. Barum doesn't have a whole bunch of moves. He doesn't have a whole bunch of switch ups, but he is explosive and he flies, and that's how he wins. Ultimately, in my report, Brian, I said Barum is better when he wins early. You understand what I'm saying? When he can beat you off the ball and be quicker than you and get to your back hip quick, you good. If you can deal with that initial burst, he doesn't have a second plan to beat you in the second part of the rush. You understand? So I thought that was interesting. I eventually figured out that he hadn't been playing edge very long. He's a very raw edge, so it makes sense why that's the case. But Brian, as an edge guy, he was kind of up and down as a run defender, right? I thought he was good dealing with counters. I thought he thumped pullers really well, but guys are kind of moving him around a little bit if they get latched on to him. He just didn't deal with powerful dudes coming straight at him every now and then, right? He's probably going to be a standing edge linebacker. This is just where I'm at in my notes because I'm going down the list. He's probably going to be like a standing linebacker type guy. I stumbled across Ohio State, okay? My mind doesn't change. He's doing some of the same things. He's either winning early or he's getting beat late. A couple of goal line plays, he lined up off the ball at linebacker at Ohio State. In the goal line. I said, oh, they have an interesting package where they put him off the ball to do whatever. I don't know why they did it, but they did it. Cool. My thoughts don't change. In my mind at this point, Brian, he's just an edge that played Mike for like 5 plays. I get to Oklahoma where he plays mostly off ball. I say, okay. He'll do some edge stuff. He'll pass rush from A-gap standing at Mike sometimes, Brian. Pretty decent, like an A-gap, B-gap blitzer. I'm fine with, fine with him doing that. I didn't think he was really good processing as an off-the-ball linebacker at Oklahoma. I thought they did a lot of things to kind of, play with his eyes, mix him up a little bit. They got blockers on him pretty quick. So in my mind at this point, Brian, I'm saying, okay, Barham's not an off-ball Mike will linebacker, but he is an edge that requires a bunch of work. I had like a 4 on him or something, Brian.
Yeah.
I did further research and I realized that last year he played all off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
I say, cool. It'll make a little bit of sense for me to watch him as an off-ball linebacker from last year, just to add further context to my report. And Brian, I thought his last year's linebacker tape was much better than what I saw from him at Oklahoma. Now, could that have been, I haven't played off-ball all year. You need me to play off-ball in this game in particular, and maybe I'm a little rusty at playing off-ball because I've been on the edge all year. But Brian, last year when I saw him play off-ball, he'd been playing off-ball all year, he was a much better linebacker. He saw it much better better instincts. I know he ran a 4.6 40 at the combine or whatever, but I saw him run around.
Yeah.
I saw him run around pretty well. I didn't think he was a super cover guy, but I felt like he had the athleticism to be decent in coverage, just moving behind him, playing in certain zones. I wouldn't want him manning up with anybody, but just dropping back, moving around, he looked fine. It made me go, okay, can I get his 2024 linebacker stuff with him being a developing pass rusher from 2025 tape? And I basically came away with the idea that he's a discount Arvell Reese, Bryan Broaddus, because they use Reese in the same kind of ways. They'll play him off ball. He'll play the run. He's decent playing the run. He blitzes and A-gap and all. Very athletic, running around. He'll drop back some. And on clear passing downs, he'll go up and rush from the edge. Requires a ton of work rushing on the edge, but he'll be fine one day. I can see the same thing from Jaishawn Barham, but to a lesser extent. On my board, I know I'm being long-winded. Pardon me, I'm going to let you talk.
No, all good. All good.
On my board, I have him listed as a linebacker, not an edge.
Too.
Not an edge linebacker, but he's a regular off-ball linebacker with Reese, Styles, Allen, Golday, and Hill. I got him in the 3rd round behind Trotter, but in front of Rodriguez, Brian. Tell me about Jaishawn Barham.
You know what? I think you got him right. You know me, when I put together my stack of the outside backers, I had Golday and then our Arizona State guy and our Michigan kid here. And so I had those guys. Those were my 3rd round guys. I think this kid is really interesting because he played for an NFL defensive coordinator in Wink Martindale. The old Giants and Ravens guy that we've kind of dealt with in the past.
Zero pressure, yeah.
Yeah, and you see a guy that Wink uses him in a lot of different spots. So that was encouraging to me. This kid transferred from Maryland. And then, he's at 6'4", 240 pounds. He's an explosive athlete. He's got the vertical burst. He could be disruptive. You watch him on the edge. You can watch him inside. You can, there's some violence to the way this kid plays. Yeah. And I was thinking, man, like, God dang, this guy, I did see some instincts and some play recognition for him. And against the run, when the ball was kind of was going to the outside, you could see him kind of see it and be able to go. Yeah. I think he's got strengths to take on blocks. I think he could shed blocks. He could blitz. I saw him in the game as Arkansas State. I was just kind of going through some just trying to watch him at different spots, and he just just a straight blitz, just blasted the quarterback. There's something to this kid's game. There's some suddenness. He's ability to threaten. He could dip. He could rip. He could flatten. I saw those things. Those slow tackles. Some of those guys you watch. Like I say, there's some of those tackles weren't getting off particularly quick. I know in the USC game, but man, this guy's got some. He's got some start-stop quickness to him. He could change direction. I love how he attacks the pocket. I love how he finishes with violence. And I think you can use him a lot of different ways in the defense. And I go back to the Wink Martindale stuff. I think that you can understand he's played in a pro defensive kind of a system there at Michigan. So I too have him in the 3rd round. I think there's a lot of, like I say, there's a lot of things you could do with him as just playing him off the ball, putting him in some coverage situations. He looks like he's athletic enough for that. But if you want to take him and run him downhill and make him a rusher and do things like that, I have no problem with this kid at all.
I think he's a fascinating player. And Brian, we're gonna have to start talking about the 4th round, pick 114 for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to start giving that a little more attention since we're in that area now. I got a third on him, Bryan, but if he's a guy that can fall to the 4th range for us for whatever reason, I would love to have that dude just as a chess piece for these young coaches, smart coaches or whatever that could just creatively find a way to use them.
I agree.
Michigan, man, I kind of wanted them to use him more as an off-ball linebacker this year because I thought he was really good at it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully his next coaches take advantage of that, Bryan.
I thought Week put him in some spots. I really did. I mean, you could watch and you're like going, okay, they're kind of moving him around a little bit, but I mean, I was like, damn, this guy, I mean, it's a good looking kid. And I just like the violence that he played with. I mean, the way just attacking, coming downhill the way he did. I was impressed with this guy.
Yeah, I agree, Bryan. This show long as hell, man, but we had a lot to get through. And it is what it is. And I thought this was one of the more interesting sets of players that we had to break down. I got 122 guys watched. Bryan's probably in the 140s, 130s, I believe.
Yeah. Getting there, yep.
So when we get down to this, whenever there's players that really catch our eye, I want to highlight them guys because a lot of these guys just run 3 routes. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
I tell you what, it'd be interesting. And the kid body catches too is another thing, man. Small guy body catcher. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about all those things. My guys could talk about 2nd and 3rd round guy. I don't know about that one. I love my guys out there on the road, but he'll probably prove me wrong. But I saw very similar to the player that we had here. Kind of. I just wondered about him sometimes.
Bryan, people hit me up all the time and they say, "Hey, Voch, where can I find the blank?" You can find it all at crowngoldmedia.com. We have our merch up there, and we're selling our stack draft notebooks. Y'all go over there and get you one of these. Been flying off the shelf. We appreciate those of you that have already copped a few. If you want to send a picture and tag us on socials, we'll say something nice to you. But if you want a hoodie or a hat or a tumbler, knock yourself out. If you're looking for the audio, you're looking for all the different shows that we do, it's all on crownglobalmedia.com. We appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, me and Bryan probably go back and forth on something, figure something out. And then we got players on Friday. So same old schedule. And then Bryan will be back next week. We'll do it all over again. All right. He's Crown Global Media on socials. And I'm VOCHLONBARDI. Love y'all to pieces, man. Thank y'all so much. We're going to go in the comments because I want to have an additional conversation about Barum, the Michigan linebacker. So talk to us in the comments.
And the Arkansas. I'd love to know about the Arkansas running back too. I'd like to know people's. I have a feeling I'm about to take a firestorm for this one. But Voch has got me right about these running backs. So
tap in with us and let us know. And we'll be also on Twitter having these convos. All right, love y'all to pieces. Crown.